Welcome back to SpicyBestStudio. Today we're reacting to a thought-provoking video about Africa's identity, resilience, and future. As we watch, I'll pause to share context and my analysis so we can explore the ideas together.
Africa does not tell our own story. Africa does not design what is in our best interest. Africa still waits to be told what is good and right. And I dare say that that is why Africa does not realize our potential. But yet it is also important to point out that the African countries are more resilient than the European states. African countries are just slightly over 60 years since they regained their...
The opening makes a bold point about how Africa is often viewed. It's worth thinking about how history, culture, and today's realities all influence the way people see the continent.
Independence. Take Nigeria, for example. With over 500 ethnic groups created within an artificial boundary. They have had their problems, they have had their hiccups, but the nation is still alive and well. Take Uganda, for example. You've had your difficulties, you've had your trials and tribulations, but the nation is still alive and well. Tanzania, 136 ethnic groups, the nation is still alive and well. There is a sense in which, in the face of our difficulties, we have succeeded in managing those difficulties, however painful it has been. But look at Europe, the pontificating Europe. They cannot handle diversity. The Europeans have had to fight two major tribal wars. They called them world wars. They were tribal wars. The European tribes were at war.
This part raises questions about leadership, development, and opportunity. Different people may have different opinions, so it's useful to look at both the achievements and the challenges.
136 ethnic groups. The nation is still alive and well. There is a sense in which, in the face of our difficulties, we have succeeded in managing those difficulties, however painful it has been. But look at Europe, the pontificating Europe. They cannot handle diversity. The Europeans have had to fight two major tribal wars. They called them world wars. They were tribal wars. The European tribes...
One message here is that Africa has enormous potential. Progress depends on many factors, including education, institutions, innovation, cooperation, and the efforts of people across the continent.
Population, and for that small population, they even have a separate parliament for them. That is how they handle it. You go to Finland, 90% of Finland are the Finns, with small Swedish population. You go to the Netherlands,
Voice
the
of
same.
Africa,
you go to
by
England,
Africans.
even there, if you talk to the Scots, they have something to say about the English. If you talk to the Irish, they have something to say. If you talk to the Welsh, they have something to say. European tribes were at war with each other in 1914. They may have recruited a few Africans and a few other people, and then they call it World War. Then they had another major tribal war in 1939 through to 1945. They didn't call them tribal wars, they called them world wars. And I want you to look at Europe and the purity of their nation. If you go to Sweden, the nation is almost 90% composed of the Swedes, with a small lapsed population.
Thanks for watching. What part of this video stood out to you the most? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments, and if you enjoy documentary and world affairs reactions, follow SpicyBestStudio for more.